When we last left off in the world of Tungra, our party members, Aralos Jr., Mace, and York, defeated Damon, the rider of Diak. The last blow being struck by York Ooze himself. And as they slayed this sleeping god and watched as the visage of his draconic partner exploded into lava and magma, the caverns around them shook and erupted. Upon making their way, narrowly, with the help of Paulo and a Nat 20, assisting the party with getting out of the caverns before it exploded. Before they could take a breath and relax, in front of them was Lady Selene, the vampire enchantress of the five. And she offered to parlay with the party, albeit with the accompanying of her two large undead Tyrannosaurus Rex creatures, as well as a new arisen vampiric Yuan Ti. And after a struggle against Aralos, who refused to give up the dagger, albeit forgetting the current predicament of his party members, many of which were dead or dying at the time, he would find himself without aid in this fight with Lady Selene. And as her Yuan Ti companions slithered up and struck him, followed by the tolling of the bells of the dead within his ears, he was disarmed and left for dead. Now Mace, Everkind, decided to pick him up and bring him with them as the caverns around them continued to erupt and explode. And as they found themselves drifting on an obsidian slab that broke apart after a large eruption, down through the caverns of Drakthor, slithering and sliding down a volcanic waterway, if you will, volcanic slide, if you will, they opted to leave it up to the gods on whether or not Aralos would meet his fate at the hands of Selene. And as they bursted out of the walls of the mountain, the party splashes down and finds himself once more within the Dragon Cove, albeit this time not on a ship, on what appears to be this obsidian slab of molten rock. The Swallowtail members, Paulo, Zana, Randall, Kaelin, Quilith, and Aoth, with Alara, the last remaining of the Freemen, joining herself with Mace, York, and Aralos, stable, breathing, but still needing a long rest to wake up from his slumber. For the party members here, as you crest over the first large wave, the first thing you notice is the large lighthouse off in the distance, marking the beginning of the Dragon Cove, separate from what is known as Slaver's Bay. Familiar with the large green light that rotates around, gleaming into the sea. And as you all look around, you notice Paulo sort of sitting off to himself, taking in the fullness of what has transpired on this dared mission. Kaelin, Mace, York, you find yourself here, drifting away towards the lighthouse. At the current pace, looks like it would take probably who knows, forever to get there. But at least you're out of those cursed mountains. Azana says,
Oh, let me see. I could maybe try to find something in my bag that can assist us with getting across faster. Give me just a moment. I'll do some looking.
and he starts to look for something that will potentially assist, as there are still some members around you fell. As you look around, you see Randall still unconscious, Queelith and Aoth both unconscious.
Are we drifting on like the ocean side, or are we on the boat?
Yeah, you guys are drifting on the obsidian raft, if you will, that broke apart from within the mountains.
Okay. Paulo, everyone okay? As I look around to see the condition of everyone.
We're as well as we could be right now, but at least we out of that hell on Tonka, right?
Mace, how are you doing, buddy?
You don't want to know what I'm feeling right now.
We made it. I don't know how we survived, but we did it. Apollo, what do you suggest we do next?
Apollo is off into his own world at the moment.
What are y'all planning to do? That's the question. Since y'all done with this, right? This is like a side venture for y'all, right? What is the next step for you guys?
That's the question. I think we were supposed to do something, but it seems like all our plans have changed.
So, what was it that you said before? Monastery, was it? When y'all was on our ship in Ludus Bay?
Yeah. I think it's something like that.
Mace, I'm sorry. We lost the only lead to help you regarding your wife to that vampire lady. Maybe we'll find another lead somewhere. I'm not too sure, but I feel like we were one step closer, and then now we're 20 steps behind.
Yeah. I noticed.
Rock. I'll walk close. I'll walk towards Paulo to try to talk to him if I can.
Okay, as you make your way over to where Apollo is sitting, you see he's kind of sitting off the edge of the slab here with his feet hanging over, his eyes kind of pierced and focused on the area of the mountains that you just emerged from.
Paulo, I need to talk to you about something.
Yes, what is it? York.
How before I talk about this, how are you feeling after everything that transpired?
Well, we survived. That's what we do. We keep on going. None of my men or women died, but those freemen, those recruits, the Dragonborn.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to save all of them, but We were able to save one at least. One is better than nothing.
Yes. And she doesn't seem to be quite the fan of us at the moment.
I need to talk to you about Ralos. I know we said let's leave it up to the gods, but it doesn't feel right letting him live. He put our lives in danger over his over his I'm gonna say it straight up, over his greed, over his pride. He didn't want to give up simple blades, and he was willing to risk all our lives. We already have, all of us already have one foot in the grave after that dragon fight, and he was willing to throw that all away over blades. If we let him live, what's to say that he won't do this to another group? What's to say he won't do it to us another time if we come across another situation like this? You may not know our backstory, but me and Mace, the way we found each other is that we were bounty hunters. The pure plane, we took out those who were harming those, whether it was because of selfish greed, whether it's because of their own ambition that harmed others. And what to say, Aralos fit that description of the people that me and Mace occasionally take out. I can't let him live. It wouldn't sit right with me, letting know that I hunt those, but I let him get a pass.
So you wish to kill him so he doesn't have the opportunity to kill someone else?
Yes. He wouldn't. Well, let me tell you something about my past. In the past, I suffered a personal tragedy because of people like him, and I vowed to not let people like him get away with things like the things that he did. So I can't. It doesn't sit right with me. And I know we said leave it up to the gods, but sometimes the gods can be wrong. And I feel like this is one of these instances.
And
So
does
I'm
your
gonna
past
do. Yeah, go.
leave any room for retribution, or?
Well, to be honest, the reason I became a bounty hunter was so I can make a living, but so that I can also avenge. I wasn't able to protect those before me, but becoming a bounty hunter allowed me to protect those in the future. And letting Aralos live, it doesn't. I wouldn't be able to live with myself knowing that I let him go.
So there's no room for redemption.
We had the chance. We told him to give up the blades multiple times, and all the chances we gave him, he denied it. All the opportunities we tried to get him out of there, and he was just hell-bent in his own destruction, which would have led to our destruction. You wanted to kill Diak. Why?
For retribution. For
Was
killing
there no
my
redemption
men.
for Diak? Was there no redemption for Diak?
Diak shed blood. Aralos helped us in that fight. He was not an enemy, although he was foolish.
He did not shed blood that we know so far. Me and Mace don't know him that well. We've only known him a short amount of time. If he did that to us, after knowing him only for a few days, what's to say he hasn't done it before in the past?
I'm sure his past is shadowed. He is the wielder of the ring, after all. And speaking of, when you
Yes.
do take his life, who would claim the ring?
Well, to be honest, what I was thinking is that we took the ring and we take it back to the other group that we split off from. Let them decide what they want to do with it. It doesn't seem. Or we can cast lots, make a vote. We went through this battle together. I feel like we can decide as a group.
A ring not protected by a ring wielder is a call signal for all who seek out power. I wouldn't be foolish enough to take this object and seek to transport it to one another. However, if you're foolish enough to believe that you can take on the burden of that curse while you still bear your own, as he looks down at your hand wielding the symbiotic blade, then perhaps you are not ready for that power.
I never said it had to be me that wields it. I trust my buddy Mace. I mean, we fought through war together. I feel like we can trust each other. How can we not trust each other after we just fought a dragon? I don't think there's higher
Yes.
trust than that.
Your first act of trust. Killing the captain that brought you here.
The captain that risked our lives and would have caught us killed against the power of a vampire. What type of captain is that?
I've had to make a lot of tough decisions in my days, and as captain, you learn that there's no worth of life greater than another. But I can't help but think that there must be another path.
Maybe for you. But for me, there isn't.
If you seek to see him deceased, would you really do it like a thief in the night? Look at him, asleep. You would cut a
was
man
so-
while he rests?
While he was conscious, he would so willingly to put our lives in danger. Why should I show him mercy when he's unconscious?
Wow, that is what makes us different than monsters, York. But I would not speak for your party and your crew in your way. However, my memoir take no place in this thing that you must do.
I see. I will go tell the other people, and I turn around to walk towards Mace and Kalen.
What is it?
I was speaking with Pablo, and you guys can do what you want, but I cannot let the Ralos live after what he did. It doesn't sit right with me.
Well, honestly, I would agree with you on that end, but I actually see a little of my younger self in him. I was just like him growing up, definitely amongst the ranks of the Swallowtail. always trying to prove myself, always trying to prove my worth to the party I always sought to join. So I was brash. I was ambitious. I was very rash on my decisions. It didn't matter what mattered to anybody else when it came to their health, to their lives. I only wanted to focus on myself and climbing the ranks to prove myself to all these guys that standing before me. Of course, not the younger members, of course. They came in later. But Randall, Zana, Paulo himself, I worked hard to gain up those ranks. And just like Garalo's, I would say at least he didn't cost y'all your lives. I honestly cost somebody, a fellow Swallowtail member, their life. And Primos, a member named Malara, she was smart. She had a bright future. Everyone said she was definitely going to be number two, the right hand man of Paulo. But because of my greed, because of my selfishness to prove myself for Paulo and everyone who was doubting me, we was in Primos. I took her at night. I heard all these stories about how these other higher ranked Swallowtail members never got to kill a dinosaur, never got to kill the T-Rex. And I thought I had a moment, a realization, this is my moment. I can actually prove myself to everyone. I'm going to do something that's never been done amongst the Swallowtail. So I found out info about where they could be hiding a T-Rex. And I went by myself. Alora came behind me. She just made sure I was going to come out okay. And most of the time, she really wanted me just to pull back. It's not worth it. But I was in my own head at that time. I was just stupid. But honestly, it cost her life. I didn't know, and at least until today, that dinosaurs run in packs, at least plural, not singular. So in the cave, after we was chasing down one dinosaur, more of them came, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20. We were surrounded. But this one wounded dinosaur we chased down, it was on knocking on death's door. I could see it. It was so close to us. I tasted it. And I wanted that moment and take something back of proof to show them my worth and the Swallowtail members. So I was selfish and it cost Alora her life. She tried to save me. She tried to drag me out of there, but she got blindsided by a dinosaur, a T-Rex. Bit her really bad in the vital area. She bled to death before all the Swallowtail members got there. And all the Swallowtail members hated me. They wanted me gone. They wanted me to lose my... They even wanted me dead. But Paulo, Captain Paulo, put an arm around my shoulder and everybody else's shoulders to give him a chance of retribution, give him a chance of redemption. And I will never forget that day. And I'm still living with the mistake I did. I always hear Laura's voice in my ear every time a member of the Swallowtail's in danger. Go! You must save them! Please, save them! Make sure they get out of there alive, please! I always hear those voices and then my legs move on their own. Because I will not lose another. And I'm not going to make the same mistakes. And like I said, I was young at that time. I'm grown. I'm more mature. I'm more wise. This guy is still young. He has a lot left to live. So he's going to make a lot of mistakes. But he at least should have a chance to make the mistake and redeem himself for it instead of taking away, don't you think?
Like I said to Paulo, we gave him a chance. Multiple. What did he do when he tried to give the blade to the vampire lady? He snatched it out of your hands. We told him many times, don't pick this fight. Let us go and regroup. Let us go and recover. Maybe we can fight another day. But what did he say? The captain that's supposed to care upon, supposed to care for all of us, all the people that is under his watch. And he did not show one inch of care. He cared
Well,
more about these blades rather than our lives.
let me ask you this. Before we got to this point, you said
Hmm.
yourself and Mace, leave it to the gods. The gods left him alive. They left him with this little bit of life he's hanging on to right now. You that's what you said. That was your choice, wasn't it? Why turn back now about what you
Mm.
said? Do your word, didn't the fate of the gods don't mean that little to you that you're willing just to turn back and go back on your word?
It's starting to.
Be honest, my faith has always been shaky. A man like him gets to live while my people don't. They did nothing. They just lived out in the forest to ourselves. But the gods didn't protect us. Why are they protecting him? So yeah, my belief in them is shaken. But I believe they are wrong this time.
Well, didn't you say in the outpost, the Moonweaver, right? The Moonweaver saved him from. I guess it kept him safe this whole time, even up to this moment right here. So maybe
If he
the
kept
gods
them,
don't. Maybe the goddess did want him alive for a certain reason.
if they want him alive, they will stop me for what I'm about to do. And then we'll see if they want him alive. And then I
Oh.
walk towards Oralos. And I looked at everyone to see if anyone's gonna do anything. I take out my sword.
Just want you to know, this is a decision you're gonna have to live with. We're not gonna stop you, but we do not. Well, I can maybe speak for everyone here, every Swallowtail member. We do not condone what you're going to do, but it is your party. Remember, you do what you want with him. This, that's all I can say.
I can respect that. But I have to do what I have to do. And then I look at Mace and nod my head. Then I swing my sword at Oralos' head. The neck area.
Go ahead and roll an attack with advantage.
Is it to hit or is it the damn?
Go ahead and roll an attack to hit with advantage.
20.
Alright, go ahead and roll damage.
11.
Okay. As you swing your blade at Oralos' neck, you watch as his throat is cut.
Oh, your voice is going crazy right now.
Is it bad?
It's echoing. Like robotic. Yeah.
Are we good? Is it bad?
Still the same. It's distorted.